What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of What the Game Means to Me. I'm Jelani Brown, of course, your host. I got my co-host again with me today, Thaddeus Phil. How you doing, man?
What's good, bro? Ready to talk some sports, some ball versus the NBA draft and a little bit of football. Let's get to it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty loaded episode. Like I said, we've been pretty busy, so we thought might as well get together, get all three things in. NBA draft happened Thursday. Had some Thursday. I mean, not Thursday. Wednesday had some Thursday night football last night, and then also versus battle with Gucci and Jeezy. And as being two kids from Atlanta, we had to touch on that. So first, we're gonna start off with the NBA draft. As you guys see, we got the big board up. We'll talk a little bit about the first round. We'll talk about first three picks, who's more primed to become a superstar. And how fast. We'll talk about steals of the drafts, who went too high, who went too low. Also about our teams and the guys they selected as well. So start things off. We'll go with the top three picks. It kind of went as expected, Anthony Edwards, Wiseman, and then Melo. And from there it was kind of a crapshoot, but the top three picks we already kind of knew who was going where. So I'll ask you first, Dad, out of the top three picks, who do you think is more primed to become an all-star?
The quickest one, in my opinion, that will be an all-star. I don't know. I feel like it's LaMelo Ball, but only because of where his fit is. Anthony Edwards gonna have to share the rock with Cat and D'Lo. James Wiseman. I think he'll thrive because people are gonna be so worried about Steph that he's gonna get a lot of one-on-one matchups, and I feel like he's a dominant offensive player, even as a first-year player, but. LaMelo, really, that's his team. He's walking in. That's his team off rip. He's sharing it with maybe Devontae Graham. That's it. But it's his show. He's a superstar. He's box office. And I could just see that feeding him, getting more votes from people. And I could see him just his career taking off quicker. Like, I could see him averaging 20 as a rookie. But you never know. I know that's a bold take, but It's his team. The ball's in his hands. So I could see him being successful. He just needs to work on his shooting a little bit and locking on the defensive end, and I think he'll be fine because he's box office. He can score, and I'm not going to say he's a better passer than Lonzo yet, but he's up there. He can definitely pass the ball.
Yeah.
But if I had to choose somebody, I would go with LaMelo because of the situation.
Yeah, I can see that. Like you said, just stepping in and pretty much his name's going to be everywhere plastered. Like they don't really got too many big names in that market. We didn't see. I guess last year it was Graham and It was Graham and Monk. Yeah, and Terry Rozier, and I don't even know if he's coming back. Which
they might trade him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They might trade him. So yeah, like you said, they probably will be handing him the keys. I don't know. I definitely see it, like you said, just because of the name. He's been in the spotlight since ninth grade. When I've been hearing about his name, Chino Hill days, him and his brothers, doing all they did over in Los Angeles. So I can definitely see it. Not just because obviously fans got to vote as well and everything, so it's not just the players and the coaches and everything. But like you said, they're handing him the keys. I think he definitely has to become a better shooter. I saw a few stats earlier. He shot I know it was only 12, 13 games he played in the NBL and over in Australia, but he had shot 25% from three and just 38 overall. So he does have to become a better shooter for sure. I'm sure obviously the NBA game, the trainers and everything that they got, they'll definitely be able to work with him on that because, we've seen his shot. We've seen his stroke. He can shoot. It's just efficiency-wise, he got to improve. Yeah. And then, like you said, he's a gifted passer. Him and his brother got that down for sure. So as long as he's able to, start knocking down some shots, and then he has to lock in on the defense. And him and Anthony Edwards get knocked for that, which Anthony Edwards is the person I was going to go with, depending on what the Wolves organization does. But before I get to him, like you said, they both get knocked for the defense, but they're scoring machines. But obviously in this day and age in the NBA, not many guards, or really not many people take pride in playing defense anyway. But overall, that's just something that they're gonna have to do. Or like you said, who knows what's gonna do. But I personally, I don't know. I'm gonna go with Anthony Edwards, just because he has some of the same traits and qualities as, like you said, Melo, or some of the bad traits and qualities of Melo. They both get knocked for their defense, and they both have to improve shooting wise. He only shot 29%, I believe, from the field, 40 overall. But to me, he's just more athletic. Obviously, he's more athletic of the two guards. He can create his shot, I think, a little bit better as well. And overall, I think he has a little bit of a better situation than LaMelo. Maybe
I
that,
agree with that.
and maybe that helps him a little bit. Like I said, with this question, who becomes an all-star a little bit quicker, because he plays beside D'Lo, who can also create for others, and he can play off ball. He doesn't have to have the ball in his hand and be a dominant ball handler, have the ball handling responsibilities, and also has Cat, to make him a better player as well. So I personally think he has the better chance to become our all-star, quicker. I think they both do, take their teams to, I don't know, like not to the promised land, but I think they're obviously key points, and then they both probably become all-stars in the near future. The one person I guess we've left out is Wiseman. So I think if you want, you can touch on, kind of what you think of him. Obviously, he's a traditional center.
I would, from what I know, he's a traditional center, but he can do more than the average center. Him being in my brother's class, once my brother started playing in high school a little bit, I was interested in high school. So I look up maybe 247 and stuff, and he was always at the top of the chart. And I might do games for the book at Lake Point. So I've seen him a couple times, I've seen him play. Like his offensive game for a 7-footer is pretty advanced. His feet work, all that.
Exactly.
I don't think he's a defensive liability. I think he just needs to get a little bit stronger, but he'll definitely strive because, Clay being out will hurt. But
yeah,
it looks like, Steph, Andrew Wiggins, Kelly Oubre, they have some solid pieces. I think he's just going to get singled up on a lot of centers, and his offensive game is skilled, so I feel like he'll feast at times. But we'll have to see. I wouldn't be surprised if he got Rookie of the Year because I could see him being a dominant big in the future, especially being coached by Penny Hardaway. He taught him a lot of stuff. And like they said in the draft video, he used to watch Shaq's film all the time. So I'm not saying he's Shaq, but I could see him being a very dominant big. But I just don't know. I think it's between LaMelo and Edwards if we're talking about Rookie of the Year. But long-term success, it's a toss-up. We don't know yet. We never know.
Exactly. Yeah. Do you think he steps right in and becomes that starting center for them?
Oh yeah.
For sure.
The center, if I'm not mistaken, is Kevin Looney. Yeah, he'll beat him. I'm not worried about that.
Do they? Is Willie Cauley-Stein still under contract, or he's
I think he might be. He might be, but I still.
But their games are different anyway. So I feel like he kind of was forced to be that starting center this year, but.
He can spread the floor though a little bit. I'm not saying he'll be shooting threes. I don't think they want him out there shooting threes.
Yeah, never that.
He can definitely spread the floor and hit 15 to 18 footers on a consistent basis. But.
Yeah, and we only got a small sample of it from Memphis. Them 3 games he dominated. He was a double machine. I think he averaged 20 and 10.
Yeah, that's
so
right for him.
Yeah.
And one more thing, really quick about Edwards. The only reason why I'm saying LaMelo first is because of the situation. And think about it. If he's gonna be all-star, that means he's probably gonna. The West is loaded, so he's good. Wait, Minnesota's the East. I'm tripping, right?
Nah, Minnesota's West too. Yeah, it's teams that seem like they should be in the East, but they're in the West. But yeah, they're in the West.
Yeah, he would have to beat out D'Lo and a whole bunch. I think you have to beat out if you want to be an all-star. You have to beat out D'Lo because they're basically playing the same position. I don't really see that happening that early. I don't think he'll be the leading scorer on the team or something like that. That'd be the only way he'd be an all-star. I think as a rookie, pretty early. But we shall see. We never know.
Yep, that is true. But like I said, top 3 picks, we kind of know who was going where and what they should do. I feel like they all have a chance to this year, definitely make a big impact on their teams. I think they'll, whether they're starting or not, they'll come in and play huge minutes for sure. But after 1 through 3, like I said, we kind of saw them going to where they went. But the 4 pick definitely kind of surprised me, and that kind of opened up the draft for everyone else, in my opinion. As you guys can see, the Bulls went with Patrick Williams, and I kept tweeting all day that I personally knew the Bulls was going to shake it up early, and they went with a 6-man, I guess 6 man of the year, but still a 6-man before all the talent that was afterwards. So personally, that's who I would think went too high. But before I get into that, who do you personally think may have went too high?
We're pretty much agreeing on this one. He's a Florida State guy too, so you would expect.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
But he was a 6-man. The upside must be crazy. I didn't watch too much Florida State basketball, but when I did, he didn't really, jump off my screen. Devin Vassell probably did more than him, but he definitely had some upside. And if he was 6-man of the year, he was a pretty solid player. But I feel like the Bulls reached. I know they have a bunch of needs. They need a lot of help, but I feel like they reached for this pick.
Yeah, I think it was a reach pick as well. Given, like you said, or like I said, all the talent that you can see afterwards. They have I guess for them, what they're thinking is they're set at guard, but there's still so much rumblings about Levine possibly, being traded or not being
Yeah.
traded or whatever. So I thought they may go guard. Even though with their bigs too, they've been having problems with their bigs being traded. Wendell Carter was rumored to go to Golden State.
What about what's his name? Think about this. He must be playing the 3 because they have Marketing and Wendell Carter, and those are your 4 and 5. So I think he might be playing on the wing. But you can finish that.
Still think and they still got I think picked up his option. Otto. I think Otto Porter. They got a bunch of pieces. Like I said, guard wise, I'm pretty sure they're going with Kobe. And like I said, there's still so many rumblings about Levine. I don't know if they're gonna keep him or not, but whether they do or not, I personally thought they may go guard. Or like you said, wing, like somewhere that can play combo, like guard wing, like 2-3 spot. And I think he's supposed to be a stretch 4, 3 or 4. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know. It to me, like I said, it was a reach. I kind of saw it as a Hawks fan. I'm like thinking it was a 2005 move when we went and got Marvin Williams instead of the possibility of having CP3. So I was like, that year Marvin Williams was also 6th man of the year for North Carolina, and I was just like, I was young, but I still was kind of I was happy because I'm a Hawks fan and North Carolina fan. So I was like, cool to have a Tar Heel on the team. But, as we can see, the careers that's panning out, obviously both don't have a ring, but, CP3 has had the more successful career as a whole. So that's kind of what I'm looking at it as of now. I don't know. Maybe their front office has some type of game plan. They know where they want to use them and how they want to use them. And maybe it fits in the scheme that they're looking to, go forward with Billy Donovan. But I don't know. It was a head scratcher to me. Like I said, look at how much talent there was left on the board, whether you do have a specific role for him or not. Even the guy right after him, probably is going to be in the same, position, playing the same type of position and for the same needs. So, like I said, I don't know. That's them, but that's our too high. So who do you think possibly went too low in your opinion?
You can go first on this one. I'm still somewhat undecided.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a toss up for me with Tyrese Maxey, and I know it's not on here. Well, it is on here, but he got traded to Denver instead. The Bucks picked him up, RJ Hampton. Yeah. So for me, like, what was that? Yeah, it's 21 and 24. It was really a toss up. Personally, I think Tyrese Maxey, both of these guys at one point they were rumored, to be lottery picks easily. But I guess, as the draft neared, their stock, I guess, fell a little bit, I guess, just because of the needs and, all the movement, what the top teams in this lottery been, wanting to do with their organization. But I personally think, if I had to choose between the two, I'm gonna go RJ just because Denver picked him up, and the last few years they've been hitting on picks that names may fly on the radars, or young guys that they're willing to take a chance on, and they've been able to mold them into diamonds and stuff. Like Jamal Murray, I think he was still a pretty high pick, but Jamal Murray they've had success with. They got Ball last year. They have I forgot the one kid name, number 35 though, but he played really well in times in the playoffs when they had to insert him. And just overall, Michael Porter Jr. Obviously they took a chance on him, even with him being injured. Yeah, so it's like all these kids that they taking chances on and drafting. The last few years, past 4 years, I've been paying attention to whoever they draft. I feel like they're eventually going to become a star in their own right. So I think I'd go with him. But overall, Maxime probably is going to end up being the one just because of, I think, the moves that they made on draft night. Morey. Yeah, I think it's going to open up. It's going to basically play into Maxi's hands. It's pretty much wide open for him. They already got a ball handler in Ben Simmons to kind of direct the floor and everything. And Maxi's a guard that goes and scores. So I think he's going to be inserted into a system that's going to be able or allows him to do that essentially. So I think personally he might be the steal of the draft. Like I said, being a guy that was rumored to go somewhere between 1 and 10, 1 and 12. And, to get him at 21, and then all the other moves they made by, getting Danny Green, whether they keep him or not, Seth Curry, Horford off the books.
Daryl Morey made. He surrounded Embiid and Simmons with a lot of shooters.
Just shooters, exactly. And like I said, just another, scorer. He can shoot and he can, get to the basket, create his own shot as well. So I mean, those are my two picks. Those are the ones I was, kind of going between just because, like I said, Denver's been able to get diamonds in the rough. And then Maxi's just a go guard that's supposed to go way higher than where he got, chosen at. So that's kind of like where I'm at with it.
For me, mine is, to be honest, it's not that far off. I feel like it's Obi Toppin, just because over the course of the draft process, especially at the beginning, he was regarded as maybe the top 3, top 4 prospect. Like in some mock drafts, they had him going for Edwards, before LaMelo Ball. But it's not really too many people that I feel like went too low. A lot of teams have different needs, but I feel like the Bulls couldn't have gone wrong with taking Obi Toppin. He can play stretch 4.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're thinking about moving Wendell Carter. That's a perfect fit. The Cavs as well. They could have taken them. It wouldn't hurt to have what wings do they have that are very good? They have is their guards or
they've been guard heavy last few drafts. So
why not get a wing that can an offensive wing? He has a high motor, so he's going to give you effort on both ends. I just feel like he should have gone earlier. 8's not bad. If I got drafted 8, I wouldn't be mad, but I could have seen him being a top 5 pick. And I feel like after Edwards, LaMelo Ball, and Wiseman, he was the best available player at that time.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad about this because Cole Anthony is going to my team, but I feel like people are sleeping on him. Top 15 is not bad, but I just feel like he's a better player. His 1 year at UNC and even from high school watching him play, he's a do-it-all guard, explosive guard at that. And Kyra Lewis is better than him, but he got drafted higher than him, but I think he could be a better overall.
Yeah.
So I feel like he should have gone a little higher as well.
Yeah, I could see that as well. Being a UNC fan, I feel like his 1 year at UNC just kind of was, derailed. Obviously,
yeah, hurt too, right?
Yeah, as I was saying, with the injury, it just got derailed. And when he came back, like he wasn't really the same. And then at that point, the season was kind of lost. So I think it wasn't just all on him. It was a lot, just riding with the players. Like overall, like we was losing real close games, like losing in the overtime by 2 or losing by last second shots that either we shot and didn't go in or other teams were shooting in and went in. So it's like it was a lot of really close games to where like I feel like if he was healthy or if he never got hurt and continued to play, that we probably would have pulled out. And although the season never concluded, like we probably would have been in a better position and standing there where we was. But like you said, I think a lot of people are sleeping on him. As we can see, that first game he had explosive. I forgot the record he said, but he said some type of record. Maybe most points. I think most points scored for a rookie or a freshman in their debut or whatever, true freshman in their debut. So I think it was like somewhere like 33, 35, somewhere in there. But basically, like you said, I think he's highly slept on. He's another like go guard that can score, but you can also facilitate as well. And I think y'all got a good pickup in him as well. So
yeah, I don't. I like the pick going off topic a little bit. With DJ Augustine getting a little older. I'm not mad at the pick. We have forwards. We have Vucevic. We have Aaron Gordon. We have Jonathan Isaac. So we were good. We just need to load up on a couple of guards. And him and Markelle Fultz, I don't mind them fighting for the spot. That'll probably bring the best out of Markelle Fultz as he progressed over the years. So we'll see what we have pretty soon. And I like the pick. We're already trending upwards, I feel like, because we made the playoffs as an 8 seed the past couple of years with not too much talent, but we're slowly adding more talent. So I'm excited to see what the future holds in about the next, not this year, but I say after next year, they might start making a little noise in the East, But those are my two guys for me.
Yeah. Before we hop over to, talking about our teams and stuff as well, even though we just did a little bit, but talk a little bit more about our teams and the moves they made. Actually, no, we'll talk about that first. And then before we, after that, we'll do the steals of the draft. So, we can talk about the second round picks. I know we don't have any up. I don't even know if y'all had any second round picks, but obviously your team's Orlando. I guess you can talk about maybe the guys that you guys got and then some moves that you potentially are possibly making. Do you guys think you get rid of Aaron Gordon or is he being kept throughout the season?
I think we're gonna keep him. I saw something really, really crazy that I did not like, and it was a Russell Westbrook Aaron Gordon trade. I'm like,
that sounds terrible.
We can bring Russ in if we're trying to fill the seats, which we might be. But if you're trying to win games, I don't think Russ is the best guy. We already he's a me person. I'm not trying to call him selfish, but winning doesn't really follow him. I don't think so. He might have a positive record, but you don't. He's not the guy you want to lead in your franchise if you're trying to win a championship. If you can't win it with Kevin Durant, if you're not working out after all these years, you got to understand that it's not everybody else that's the problem. It might be him, and that's what we're starting to realize. So that wasn't a good move. I did not like that. I hope we hold on to Aaron Gordon, but right now I don't know what moves we should make. Like we just got to see what we have. Our 1 through 5 is not set, but if in the future in free agency, I would like to see us add another shooter, maybe Bogdanovich from the Kings. Or
everybody wants him.
Yeah, no, he's a sniper.
Yeah.
Either him or next year in the draft, we should go. I think we should go for a scoring wing, because our one position should be set with Cole Anthony. Fultz maybe at the 2, or I don't know how that's going to work out, but we're pretty set. Jonathan Isaac has to show a little more, but Aaron Gordon and Vucevic are holding it down at the 4 and 5. So I feel like if we fill in that one little piece at the 3 or the wing spot, we'll be in some good shape. But it's going to take some time. I don't expect us to contend for real. Like I expect us to be the 8 seed or 7 seed and lose in the first round. But we need once we add a couple more players, a couple more wings, or some more offensive centered players, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, a nice little bubble run. So
we're not that bad.
Y'all still like, I don't know, just in the middle of the road type team. Like y'all got pieces, but it's like, I don't know. It's like I don't know what piece is gonna eventually put y'all. Well, I don't know what piece is gonna want to come to Orlando that's gonna eventually put y'all over the hump.
Yeah. It's gonna take some time though. I'm being patient. It is what it is.
Yeah.
At least we're trending upwards. Like if we were trending down like Florida State, I have no hope for Florida State. But the Magic, I have a little bit of hope.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What was I about to say? I personally, like you say, what you just said about with Russ, like I feel like I think it was a week or two ago, it came out reports that I don't know if they were real or not. They probably fake, but talking about he kind of wants to return to that like ball dominant like facilitator role that he played with OKC. So it's like I guess Orlando would be a place he could do that at, in a sense, but obviously like you said, being a fan, you don't want that, you don't need that, but it does sound like a market that could possibly use him, but. Yeah, I wouldn't even like the fit. I wouldn't even like to see him in a Orlando jersey. I feel like that's just
we're not going to do anything. We're paying him. We're going to be paying him $40 million a year just for the 8 seed and to fill up seats. I know it's all about business, but we're trying to win games over here as a fan. I don't care about filling up the seats. We could black out every game in Orlando. It not even be shown on TV in Florida, but I'd rather us win games. I don't care about filling seats.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess. The Hawks, I know you probably obviously being from Atlanta in here too. You can comment on us too, but I don't know. I like the draft pick. I was either hoping we got Obi or we got Aneka, and I'm honestly more glad we got Aneka because he's more known so for his defense. The offense is going to eventually come, and that's all we need help with. I think we was like last in efficiency in defense, either last or second to last year. So like our whole team. Like we have holes defensively, and I think he'll patch that up pretty quickly. I was a little upset that they traded Dedmon because I thought he would be like that, that veteran voice to kind of help him, within his first year and his rookie year. But everyone keeps saying like, our front court would have been so crowded, and getting rid of him basically opened it up for him to play a little bit. But I'm just like, we only got 5 bigs, and our bigs not even really big bigs. Like John Collins ain't no super big. Like he's a stretch four.
Really quick.
Yeah.
I know you said you like the pick, but where is he gonna go with Capella? I know John Collins at the 4, Capella at the 5.
What I'm saying it's and that's why some people are rumored like they think we possibly might, which I don't think is gonna. It was a few days ago because I think he wants to go to Indiana now, but going to sign and trade and get Gordon Hayward, which I'm so against. I swear to God, I would.
Hey man, I was about to say that. I'm like, why is he such a hot topic?
Super hot topic for no reason. I mean, he's a solid player, even with coming off an injury and everything he was doing with last year. He had a solid year number wise, but I just personally, I don't know. Like, I just personally don't think he would fit our culture and just like our style of play. Like he's a solid piece. Like, he's a little nice two-way player to have, veteran, you can get him the ball and he can score if you need a bucket, but I don't know. It's just like, he's too hot of a commodity for me. And I don't see why everyone loves him so much, especially he just declined his player option, which now I think he'll get a little less money or a little bit more years. Maybe that's what he was aiming for and hoping for. But like I said, I think he's just a little bit, especially like now, like obviously this year, and I'm about to get to it, like we got so much money to spend. So it's like we're linked to like every free agent like that can possibly like need or want or ask for big money. So
Mhm.
he was one of them. I'm just like, there's no way we would go after him. So it's like kill all the noise.
I
But
feel like he
I
would. Go ahead, my fault.
no, what was you about to say?
I was gonna say real quick. I feel like he would stunt the growth of Kevin
Yeah,
Huger. Geez, what's his name? Cam Reddish, because they kind of play
yeah.
the same position.
Is that like Reddish, Hunter, and Horter, Kevin?
Yeah,
So
that's what I was saying. I couldn't say the last name right.
yeah, Herter. Yeah, I
Yeah.
be messing it up as well. That's why I just be like Kevin or whatever they call. I think they call him, Red something. But it definitely would. Like I said, Kevin being his third year, along with Trey and then the other two guys, obviously in their second year, and I think they just need more time to play together and grow. Like obviously, I think we should have like a veteran or two. That's what Vince was there for. We had Evan Turner for a little bit. So like they do probably need a few like veterans in that same position and kind of help them along the way. But I think they need to be in the prime position, playing most of the minutes, starting if they're not starting. And I think it would stunt the growth for sure. So I don't know, like front court wise, like going back to the Detman trade, I didn't really like it because we're bringing in Tony Stale, and I know why they did it. Obviously, it's just an expiring contract for next year, which I'm guessing they're thinking and hoping to make some big moves next year in free agency because it's supposed to be more big names obviously available than this year. So I mean that they're playing a long ball game still. We're rebuilding, but at the same time, I think it's still a little bit of pressure for us to make the playoffs this year, which I personally think we would have made it last year if John Collins wasn't suspended 25 games because we was only I think 4 games back from Washington, who got invited to the bubble. So I'm pretty sure John Collins could have made up 4 games. We would have won 4 games with him in those 25 that he missed. So I don't know. I like the direction that we're going. Like I said, we're still young, but I think depending on, I don't know, there's no news coming out for us yet. Whoever we add in free agency this year kind of may boost us a little bit, into a 8th seed spot because I think we can contend and compete with y'all like Orlando or whoever else is vying for that 8th spot in the East, Washington, teams like that. I think we have the talent to do so, and bringing in a defensive minded coach like Nate McMillan as well on the staff. I think just all of it together, they're formulating a good cohesive unit that can be able to win some games this year. But like I said, we'll just see overall. But like I said, I like the pick with Onyeka. I even like our second round pick, Skylar Mays at LSU.
Mm-hmm.
You just seem like a smooth player, and that's something that we need. I think I don't know how much he plays this year, but they said he's a nice 2-way player. He can play both defensively. He can play on the other teams, biggest guard or more athletic guard, which is what we need because Trey Young isn't guarding really anybody.
Yeah, no, he's getting his buckets.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, I don't know how much he plays, but I think that was a nice little piece to add. But personally, I think this year, and everybody's been talking so much about we need another guard that can like pretty much play Clay to Trey Steph. But I think personally, I don't know if it's just me. I've been thinking like Cam can do that. Like last year, like his struggles in the beginning was only offensively, and that started to change after the All-Star break. So he's a bigger too. I think what's at 6'8", 6'9", like something crazy. He's pretty tall. Not 6'9", my fault. Probably like 6'7", 6'8", but he's somewhere tall in that tall space or whatever. And he's long and athletic, and defensively he had a good. I think I don't have the number in front of me, but defensive efficiency last year. So I think he can do that. I think he can beat a Clay to Trey Steph. So I don't really know what's the fuss about us getting another guard that can do that. I guess it's just another backup point guard, but they got Brandon Goodwin as well. Maybe I'm just high. Maybe I'm just high on my Hawks because they're my Hawks. I get to see him up close, and we both seen Brandon Goodwin up close, seeing what he can do. Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like they're in a good spot, good position. Just depends on how they spend this money the next few hours. So all right, real quick, I guess the last point we'll hit on before we switch over to football. Who do you believe is your steal of the draft?
My steal of the draft. I feel like Josh Green is underrated. Seeing him from high school as well, transition to Arizona. I feel like he's gonna help out with Luka a little. I know Luka's running the point. I don't know how that's gonna work because Josh Green's only like 6'3", but he's a very explosive guard. I could see him just flying under the radar. He wasn't the biggest name, but I've seen him play on multiple occasions, and I like what I've seen.
Yeah.
I feel like he'll fit well in that system. He plays D2, so we shall see. But from the first round, that's my steal of the draft, I feel like.
Yeah.
Or RJ Hampton, only because we didn't really get to see him play because he was overseas and stuff.
Exactly.
But he's a solid. I think he's 6'5", 6'6", and he could play the 1 through 3.
Yeah.
So he's
I think he's 6'6".
take a little pressure off of Giannis. Help out with Eric Bledsoe, and they just got Drew Holiday. So I really don't know. They have some nice wings and guard play coming. So
yeah.
Like
well, no, you remember he got traded to the Nuggets. That's why I said that's the one. I think he went too low.
Yeah, my fault.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like, just everybody at the Nuggets draft, I just keep an eye on. So I think if not him, I got like 3 steals of the draft. I don't even know. Like, I think I mixed in the steals of the draft with when it going too low. But RJ Hampton was definitely one. But I think someone that's real interesting, or will be real interesting to see, will be Devin Vassell. Because obviously we haven't seen the Spurs draft this high in a really long time, and he just seems like a guy that's going to fit really well in that type of system with Pop and everybody. So I don't know. I think personally, like I said, I didn't get to see him too much. I know he went to Peachtree Ridge. I got to see a little bit, not in person, but we watched him a little bit just because he's been in the area. But I don't know, something about him he can play both sides of the ball.
He's long too.
He's long.
I'm not saying he's like, he reminds me of Kawhi. I'm not saying he's going to end up being Kawhi, but when Kawhi first came in the league, he played D. He could shoot a little bit, but he used his length. He played both ways, and I feel like over time, how Kawhi did, Evan could develop an offensive mid-range game. He can already shoot. Trust me, he can shoot. I've seen him when he was 16, but And the Spurs have a great developmental program, so I feel like they'll get him right. I see a lot of Kawhi Leonard in him for real.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll break out onto the scene like that, defensive player of the year like 3 times, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yep, he took the words right out of my mouth. That's kind of the direction I was going, and that's all I was saying. Like you said, they have a great player development system. Everybody that goes to them somehow, some ways, whether they're a low name or high name, like they play well. White and all those other guys that they got over there now.
He was undrafted, I think.
Yeah, like I said, they form and mold people into to greatness in a sense. So like I said, I kind of see him going. I can see him going that direction because coming out of college, obviously Kawhi wasn't really known for his offensive game either. He's more known. We knew he can play offense. He can produce points, but he's just more known. Like you said, he's long, athletic, and kind of like a defensive stopper. So I think I can see him forming into like that Kawhi. Like I said, we're not going to jump ahead of ourselves and say he's going to be that, but it's a possibility. So I mean,
I can see it. I wouldn't be surprised.
Exactly.
I told y'all so. I just can't say that because Kawhi has 2 rings and 2 defensive player years, so I can't really say that yet.
And real quick, I guess before we switch over to the NFL, I just got a little report that popped up on my screen that signing with us, Gallinari.
Signed with the Hawks?
Yeah, 3 years, 61 mil, something like that, 61.5. So I mean, that's gonna be interesting.
He's been a solid pro his whole career. He's never been
that guy. Yeah,
he's not a scrub for sure. He's not. Scrub.
So I mean, I'm just worried about injury wise. He used to be pretty injury prone. He used to be out for long extended periods of time. But this past year, I think these past 2 years, he's been relatively healthy. He had a solid year with OKC. And they kept saying his name, but I just didn't feel like that he would sign with us. But I mean, cool. I guess it'd be interesting. I mean, nice little move because, like I said, it should help us trend towards that playoff run. We should be somewhere in the 7-8 seed spot. And him and Rondo were the 2 that's rumored that that we should be signing and will pick up. I would like Rondo. I would like the Rondo pickup. I would like it a lot, actually. Like I said, it just gives another veteran in the locker room, another ball handler that could come in and facilitate when Trey's out. And Rondo obviously plays defense as well. So I don't know. If we get both those guys, I'll be pretty happy. I also saw Dwight Howard. He's going to the 76ers, which is interesting. I don't
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
I did not see that.
It just popped up, like literally just popped up. So
that's wild.
Yeah, it's crazy. Because like I think earlier he had tweeted
he was staying with the Lakers. I just saw that before we started the show. That's why that caught me off guard.
Yeah, and he deleted the tweet. And then now he's going to Philly, which is, I don't know. I kind of like that a little bit as well. They replaced
Yeah.
They replaced Horford, but I don't know. They replaced Horford
With Danny Green.
Yeah, I mean
They
both of them
traded
going
Danny
over there.
Green to the Thunder, and then they traded the Thunder got Horford.
I'm just thinking about I don't know. I'm thinking about.
The
I guess
lineup.
obviously, yeah, the lineup. That's what I'm thinking about the
Nah, he's
lineup. I
coming off
think,
the bench for sure.
yeah, of course he's coming off the bench. I think it's like he probably coming for. I don't see him and Embiid being really able to play side by side.
Yeah, and I think they did that as insurance too, because Embiid, he doesn't really take care of his weight. If he did, he'd be a better player, but his knees bug him. He misses games that he's good for missing 10 to 15 games a season, so that's a good little backup insurance.
Yeah.
But we gotta see what the Lakers do now. I don't know if they're gonna re-sign JaVale or not, or what.
JaVale picked up his option.
Oh, okay.
So, but I mean, I don't know. JaVale's so damn goofy to me. I can't even
play anywhere else.
Yeah.
The Lakers are cutting his minutes out.
That's why I'm saying. That's why he had to pick it up, because he knew, like, especially like the playoff run, he started seeing, like, obviously it was
0 minutes.
Because of game planning, and I guess obviously the team that they were playing and everything. But even in spots that he could have played, Dwight took over. So I feel like it was smart on his end to pick up that player option. But like I said, they feel like they need another big or two to kind of repeat the same process that they did last year. But I kind of already like what they're doing. They got Schroeder in the trade, and they got Wesley Matthews, which might mean that Bradley's gone. But so I think they need to add another wing, kind of shooting or a 3-and-D type wing, and then another big for sure. And they probably should be straight. But overall, I think they've upgraded a little bit more than last year, in my opinion. But
I do.
Yep. I'm saying that's the NBA real quick. We'll go ahead and switch over to Thursday night football. Had a nice little prime matchup between Seahawks and Cardinals. This kind of took the back seat to our verses, which we'll get to in a second. But it's still overall is a pretty good game. I was tuned in because obviously it's football. It's a nice little NFC West matchup, and they're all tied up top. Well, not anymore because Seattle won, but they were tied at the top of the NFC West. And because I got Russell Wilson and Carlos Hyde in my fantasy team. But overall, kind of just, your thoughts and initial reaction to the game and how it kind of played out.
It was another good game. Not much I can really say is what I expected. The first matchup was a thriller, went to OT. I really expected nothing less. Both teams play well at times. I feel like Seattle got a boost by getting Carlos Dunlap in that trade. Well, no, they signed him. I think he got released by the Bengals and they signed him. Having the game-winning sack and another sack. But the game was good overall. Kyler kind of got banged up. I think he was hurt. I don't think he was the same after he fell on the shoulder like that. Like, a lot of his passes, the receivers were falling to their knees before they caught it. So his arm strength wasn't there. I know he's feeling it this morning because with the game going on, the adrenaline was there, so he didn't really feel it. But
exactly, yeah.
He played a little role. But overall, there's not much I can really say. It was a good game. Went down to the wire. And that's about it. I feel like the NFC West will go down to the wire because the Rams, from what I saw last week, they look good. They got a pass rush now. Not saying they didn't have one, but I'm talking about from the edges, not from the inside.
Yeah, with Floyd.
Leonard Floyd.
Yep. Coming in the fold.
Just a good game overall. Not too much to talk about. Nobody really stood out. It was just a solid game.
Yeah, overall. Solid on both sides. Honestly,
good teams too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my fault, bro.
No, you good.
To say one thing I like that I saw in the game that the Cardinals are finally utilizing Isaiah Simmons more. He's getting more and more snaps per week, and he's making more plays. So that's a good sign.
Yeah, because early in the season, I think it was rumors like he didn't really like. Or people would think he didn't really fit the scheme and stuff, and
no, you just got
exactly.
You just got
he can fit any scheme exactly. Like I said, I kept hearing his name all last night.
Yeah,
he was pretty much all over the field, and that's the same thing he did at Clemson. So, like I said, I'm glad they utilized him a little bit more as well. That's why I'm glad you kind of said it because that's what I was about to say. Like even though it's 28-21 still, I mean, I think it was more of a defensive matchup in a sense because, like you just said, like the game-winning play was a sack. On 4th and 10 or something like that, something crazy. And just overall, it was a lot of play. They on the Cardinals end, they frustrated I think Wilson a lot. He threw for under 200 yards. He threw
193.
Yeah, he still threw 2 touchdowns, but he was frustrated a lot. He had to extend plays a lot. He had to move out of the pocket, scramble. They got a lot of good hits on him, a lot of QB rushes on him. So like I said, they made him uncomfortable for sure, and you can easily see that even in these little clips that's coming up. You can see two of them. He's getting smacked in one and then about to get tackled in the other. So I think it was more of like I said, it wasn't a wow type game. It did come down to the end, come down to the wire. But overall, I think it was like a bigger defensive matchup in a sense.
A lot of good football being played. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. Who do you think wins the division out of these out of the three, like you just said, Rams, Seahawks, and Cardinals?
That might have to be a topic for another day in a sense, because I would have to, before making a like real decision, I would have to look at the schedules, remaining schedules, to see who they have. But if I just had to just take a guess, I think Seattle, because of their experience. They're the only. I mean, the Rams have a little bit of experience, but the Seahawks have the more experienced quarterback, the more experienced coach, and I feel like in those close games they'll just make less mistakes. But they could send three. I don't know who wins the division. I could see them sending three in the NFC, which is saying something because the NFC South has the Saints and the Bucks.
Yep.
And what's the other division? The NFC North. Nah, they'll just send one, but we'll see, bro. But if I had to pick, I would go with the Seahawks.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with them too, just because the start of the year that they had, and their biggest downfall is their defense.
Yeah.
They had the worst defense, worst ranked defense in the NFL. I know it's probably changed a little bit, but it's probably couldn't have changed much within these last few weeks. But I think with getting Jamal Adams back, because he was out a few games, and also Quadron Diggs, the other safety, he was out a few games as well. But getting them back in the fold, and then obviously getting Carlos Dunlap to come off the edge and help rush. And then you still got Bobby Wagner and KJ Wright. I think eventually, like you said, and it kind of showed last night, they'll start to pick up momentum. As long as they're all able to stay healthy, they'll start to pick up momentum. That defense will just get better as the weeks go on, especially if the matchups get, harder and harder, as we can see. It definitely will come down the wire, but I think I'll pick Seattle as well. I think at the beginning of the year, I was hoping 3 would come out of NFC South, because I thought the Falcons was going to have a little bit better of a year. But the first 2 weeks, I was like, nah, it's definitely going to be NFC West. 3, they're probably going to be sending 3 for sure. So I don't know. It's still, still a lot of football to be played. I think it's almost kind of saying something. Like I said, it really just depends. The Rams got a tough matchup this week. I think they play the Bucks this week. I think they play the Bucks. Yeah, they play the Bucks this week. So it'll be another tough matchup for the Rams defense, but it's also going to be a tough matchup for the Bucks offense, because they have so many pieces that they're still trying to figure out. I feel like the first week with AB coming in the fold, when they played the Saints, they was trying to force the ball to him too much, or just force the ball throwing it downfield too much. They felt like they can just have an aerial attack and abandon the run. And last week, they got back to running and then was able to, play off of that. So I don't know. It's going to be tough this week because the Rams do both really well. They can stop the pass and they can stop the run. So it's like the Bucks have the option, I guess, to pass and run, but it's like kind of like, which one are they going to attack? Which one are they going to be able to exploit? Wisely. So you said what?
I was saying they're going to have to choose wisely.
Exactly.
I don't know that game. Like, I watched the whole Seahawks game when they played the Rams, and they looked different. Like, I didn't know what to do. He made a couple bad decisions, but their defense was pretty. I don't know. They
just flying around. They just
And then their offense is always good because McVay. I wouldn't say he fell off. He came back to earth a little bit from that one season, but he's still a great play caller. Like his creativity in the run game and in the pass game is. Him and Shanahan are 1 and 2 in that aspect. They're not 1 and 2. My fault.
Somewhere top 5.
Yeah, I'm not going in front of Andy Reid yet.
Yeah, and Bellingham, and even Josh McDaniels. Like last few weeks, Patriots have been playing a little bit better. Or at least been able to. You said what?
I was saying he even got your boy TD pass. Yeah, no, I said I saw the creativity.
Yeah,
Myers, the little play.
Yeah, they gotta. I don't know. I've been waiting for a little bit. I know he ain't played that much this season. Last 4 weeks he's been coming on, but I knew it would come eventually because with Edelman they did it. Even Wes Welker, like these little quarterbacks, even though he's not little, he's like 6'2", but old like quarterbacks that used to play or wide receivers that used to play quarterback. They always give them 1 or 2 attempts, and I was like, it's coming at some point. I just didn't think it was gonna come. I didn't think it was gonna come then in that moment because it was raining. And the weather was crazy, but still was able to complete it. So pretty nice little play for them. But like I said, nice nice little Sunday or Thursday night football. This is one of the better matchups on a Thursday night. Typically, we get the scrub matchups.
We do.
So nice little game, and like I said, nice to see Seattle. I guess pull it out, especially for me in fantasy because it's my money league. So Russ got me like 27, and then Carlos got me like 17. So that's solid for two players out of the lineup. But all right, switching gears real quick. Last little topic we're gonna hit on. We had to do it because we're two boys, living in Atlanta area. So we're gonna hit on Gucci Man versus Jeezy, of course. Like I said, that was I had on my phone and everything. That kind of was at the top of my list. I watched the game, of course. I was kind of going back and forth, but this it was entertaining to say the least.
It was
Very entertaining to say the least. It's a lot I think that we can get into or a lot that could have unfolded. I don't know, but at the end kind of made me question a lot. So I'm gonna kind of pose the question to you first before we get into who won and go through the track list and everything. But do you think it was scripted at all?
Scripted?
Yeah.
It was a corporate event for sure. It might have been. I'm not positive, but it could have been. I'm not sure. What do you think about that?
I don't know. It's because the end part, it just first off, the whole time, like obviously, we know. I don't know. I don't even know if I should tell the story because I'm pretty sure some people, watching, they obviously know. But obviously, the backstory is they had beef for 15 years, and Gucci made that clear. That's probably the funniest part to me, honestly. When Jeezy said 20 and then Gucci corrected him. So, yeah, so quick. It was like 15. Like that was probably the funniest part to me. But anyway, they had beef. Jeezy tried to send his boy Pooch to I guess do a job for him to kill Gucci. Gucci ended up killing him, put him in the dirt, and then they've held a grudge ever since. And obviously, as you can see, even Gucci came out with because that first time I was like, what is this? And I was like, oh, he obviously made this shit like yet today. He just made this shit. Like this is on the fly. Made a little diss track. But ever since then they've been going back and forth at it, whatever. But I don't know. For me, it made it seem like it was towards the end just because like they switched up too quick. Like you can feel
Gucci disrespectful the whole entire time.
Yeah. But like you can see, like at the end, like the switch up was just too quick for me. Like it wasn't like, which I don't know if it was just because like he knew that he kind of had to do it, and it was the last round. They had to do their song together or whatever, Icy. But it's like it was too quick. Like the whole time he was mad, he was pissed, he was standing up, he was being disrespectful, like you said. And it's like at the end for him to kind of like say like let's do it and smile and everything, and then kind of like make amends and stuff. When the whole time he wasn't doing that. Like, I feel like if it wasn't scripted, he would have been doing that from the beginning. But, I don't know. Maybe not scripted, but maybe they just knew that they had to provide some type of entertainment. Like, they knew people was watching, just kind of wanted to see if that, that animosity is still there or whatever. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe script is not the best word, but it did seem a little weird. But whole time I was like, and I wish I'd have, put some tweets up or whatever, but they was describing it perfectly. Like I felt uncomfortable like the whole time. Like every time something was happening, like Gucci would say something like, Gucci's what did he say? Oh, he played truth. Obviously, I was on the edge of my seat.
I didn't know what was gonna happen.
Like, because obviously you saw like, he had his little entourage and everything on in the corner. I don't know if it was Lil Baby. To me, it looked like Lil Baby, but it was somebody over there that looked like Lil Baby. Lil Baby that what you call it, P over there. And like at first, Jeezy ain't have nobody on his side. So I was like, obviously, like you just said, it's a corporate event. Nothing was really gonna go down or happen like that. But I was just like, Gucci keep talking the way he talking, and Jeezy just, chilling. Who knows? Like he's still
like he said, what did he say? He was like, send another one, I'll put him in the dirt too.
Oh, yeah. He just kept saying stuff.
Like this film got no filter.
At all. And I was just like, oh man, he tripping. Like, but like I said, I had to keep reminding myself, like, I understand. Even Jeezy said in the beginning when he came out with that first little, I guess round one diss song, he was like, oh man, this early, I get it. Of course you're gonna understand because what you tried to do. But I don't know. Just your thoughts, like I guess what was the funniest thing to you? What song was you glad to hear, or just anything in general?
The funniest, I don't have a specific part. Gucci just some of his comments in between the songs, like what he was saying, just had me dying. Like Jeezy was just chilling.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to curse on here, but Gucci would be like, "You a hoe," and then Jeezy would be like, "I own half of Atlanta." Like they do goofy stuff.
Yeah.
Jeezy was on a different type of timing than Gucci, obviously there, but Gucci has a right to still be mad because if somebody sends somebody to kill you,
Yeah.
I don't think I'd ever get over that, to be honest.
That's really some unforgivable. That's really unforgivable.
Come on, bro. He sent him to put you down. Like if you wasn't aware and defended yourself, you wouldn't be around. So
exactly.
I can never forgive him for that. But there's a lot of funny moments. I'm glad Gucci played some of his old throwbacks, but I didn't like when he was playing.
Well, he kept playing that new stuff. Yeah. That's what really, like, if we're gonna crown somebody that won and lost, that really what lost it for him. Because every time he played that, I was like, bro, what are you doing? But it was funny every time he was like, man, all that old shit, stop playing that old shit. It's like, that's from 07. I got new, play my new hits, yeah. And then G was like, I'm still playing my old.
I feel like both of us had parents that have such a little, old soul. So like we were kind of listening to some of that music coming up, Jeezy, not Gucci, but some of those Jeezy tracks, like I remember listening to those as a kid. Some of my favorite tracks. So
yeah, I know Warren loves Jeezy. Jeezy and Rick Ross, I think his top two. I think he likes them a lot. But like just overall, I think like you just said, somebody said it too. It just reminded me. They said Jeezy won the battle, but Gucci won something. I don't know what it is, but he won something. Like he's just a comedian. Like he was there. He knew what he was doing, what he was saying. Like even when he was talking about his outfit, he was like, my outfit costs 10,000. My tent costs 10,000 racks. And then Jeezy like, I don't got no fit that costs 10,000, but I own half of Atlanta. And then all the tweets and everything, everybody kept going,
No, Jeezy had me dying just the way he was responding. Into it, but once
he wasn't even giving those stories either. Like he would just go right into the song. He'd say something slick and then just go into the song and start performing.
No, it was definitely must-see TV, bro. Like I watched some of the verses, but this one I literally watch it from start to finish. Like I had the game pulled up and verses on my phone pulled up at the same time.
Exactly. Same here. Cause I just couldn't miss it. Like one thing I knew though, I didn't pull it up right at 8 because I already knew they was gonna come out late. They came out like a whole hour late.
Black people time.
Yeah, all the time. But just for the people, I really thought like they probably can't even see all of this. But it really felt like they played way more than 25 songs as a whole. I just at a point like towards the middle, like I was still listening, but I was like, I know they both of them about 30 deep, like into catalogs because I like it's a bunch. But maybe it was just like the talking and going. Well, not even the talking, but just like they were late and like it was like damn near 10. I'm like, oh, they don't even seem like they about to be done. So I don't know, but
if I had to pick really quick, my favorite song from Gucci that I hadn't heard in a minute, I would say probably "Wasted" or "I Think I Love Her." That's one of my favorite songs from him.
It was a lot of stuff he didn't play either. Everybody was mad. He didn't play nothing off of it
either, did he?
He didn't play nothing off of Trap House 3, like nothing. He didn't play.
He was,
what you call it? The title of the song just left me, but he didn't play a bunch of stuff off of Trap House 3. But they said Jeezy didn't play a lot either. I think he didn't play a few songs like off of Inspiration.
That's why I feel like Jeezy won though, because he has so many hits in the bag. I feel like he won based off what he played, and he still has some in the bag. So
yeah, and it's like that's what I'm saying. Could that also play into the scripted part? Because it's like, why did Gucci not play anything off of Trap House 3? Like, like certify at least 3-4 bangers off Trap House 3 instead of playing that new stuff with the Migos and that Bruno Mars one. That's the one that really like, bro, I can't even give it to you. I can't even respect that one. Like, I forgot the name of that song, but I'm like, I don't want to listen to that. That's not what I'm here for. That's not what Jeezy was there for either. Like, you playing Bruno Mars in a versus. I'm sorry, Bruno Mars. He's a cool little, artist or whatever. But this wasn't. I
wasn't the scene for that.
Yeah, at all. So I'm just like, and he was singing it for real. Like, he was into it. I'm like, nah, bro, change this, cut it quick. But I don't know. I guess we can go through this round by round. Like some of them might kind of go over our heads, but I think Jeezy won it as well. I know there's a lot of people a little bit biased to Gucci, but
they're from Atlanta.
Yeah,
on old Gucci, fat Gucci.
Yeah, which like I said, they can't like, but they got to be real themselves. He didn't even play. Like I said, he didn't even play all the stuff that he should have played.
Based off what I heard, Jeezy won. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll say just song wise, like if we're going hit for hit songs that they play, Jeezy for sure won.
And then he played one of the best, well, not one of his best throwbacks, but for me as a child, like Soul Survivor was one of my favorite songs.
Mm-hmm.
He played that towards the end. So
he played which one he played towards the end? I forgot. What was it? I can't even see it on here.
Put On. I remember he played Put On too.
It was damn it. It was like I think it was around. Oh yeah, it is. I think Trap Star. No, it's Trap Star and Get Your Mind Right. Yeah, I think it was those two. Yeah. So, which was the response to Truth, which, like I said, that's when it got a little chippy and they start, going back and forth and talking. That's when they said Martin Luther Jeezy because he wanted to try to play peace with Gucci, and Gucci wasn't having none of it. Like after he stopped talking, he was just like, "Yeah, bro, like shut up," and then went into his next song. But I don't know. It was nice to see them, just come together as a whole. It was funny though because one thing I didn't know was like, because didn't you hear the rumor like T.I. was supposed to do it at first with Jeezy, and then like Jeezy was like, "Nah, I really wanted to do it with Gucci," and then they ended up just scrapping T.I. and he had to be in the comments, and he was going back and forth with somebody in the comments. I don't even know who it was, but it's just funny how it all played out. Like they just kicked T.I. off because they was like, "Oh yeah, this is definitely gonna be bigger," with Gucci. So, but it was nice to see overall that they just came together, was able to do this in some form or capacity, whether it was they kept the respect factor there or not. But it was just nice to see for the city and just for everybody as a whole. But like I said, I think Gucci took it. Was it 24 out of? Because 25, obviously the song they did together, you can't give it to nobody. But out of the 24, I think I went through it by myself, and I personally think I gave him I gave him 14 other songs. Yeah, because it might have been 15. Because those two, like I said, the one with Bruno Mars and the one with Migos, I was like, I don't even care what Jeezy play. You're not winning that round.
I really don't know why he played I Get the Bag. Like when that came on, I'm like, what are you doing?
It really, like I said, they were mood killers for me. That's when I started. That's when he started playing something like that. That's when I started paying attention to
the game.
Yep, to the game. But
yeah, overall, I got Jeezy winning. I don't care what you guys say. You can be biased if you want. I listened to more Gucci than I did Jeezy, to be honest, growing up. So
that's what I was about to say too. Yeah, that's the I guess the irony, because I did too. Like Gucci would definitely play a lot more, even though like I'm not like he's from East Atlanta. I'm not from East Atlanta, but I grew up in like Stone Mountain, Lithonia, like area, whatever, which is east of Atlanta. Yeah. So that's pretty much what I was, listening to was, predicated off of. Because I don't know, Jeezy was cool. I always listen to Jeezy, but it's like it always seemed like Jeezy just more so for like not a generation above us, but just like some like gotta be like 5-6 years older than like our age range to like really fuck with Jeezy. So excuse my language, but yeah, man, that's pretty much it. Pretty much it for the day. I don't think there was any more news that really popped up. I think I haven't seen it yet, but it said the Lakers fans are roasting Dwight for something. So I'll be interested to see what they talking about with that. Yeah, man. Is there anything we missed? Anything that we should hit on?
Real quick, let's just go over some of the top 25 matchups for Saturday football, college football. Who do you got? Oklahoma plays Oklahoma State, and Ohio State plays Indiana. That's a top 10 matchup.
Yeah, that's gonna be the best game. I'm about to say a bunch of games got canceled.
Yeah,
I was all right. Maybe we should ask that first, or actually ask you that first. Do you even think the season is gonna be able to find an end? Like, is they gonna be a point to where they like, because the cases in the U.S. is rising. Yeah. Like the cases in college football is rising. There's a bunch of games that got canceled and postponed. So do you even think they're gonna be able to finish the season at all?
I think they will, because they'll find a way. Like they'll find a way to make up games, but it's not looking the best at the time. I know what people are thinking. I feel like I know what's happening. Being a college athlete myself, I feel like, especially those bigger schools, it's a lot more events. People still partying and stuff. There's girls out there and stuff. And they start to lose, and they start to get a little lackadaisical, and how serious they're taking the protocols. Like, am I really not? We're 2-5. Am I really not going to go out tonight? Am I going to stay in the crib? I feel like that's what some schools are doing, and see every week people are having cases. Like these are young adults we know I'm in college still. Like I go out, and especially as the athlete, those big schools like Charleston Southern, we don't have that many parties, but it's a lot of girls out here. It's a lot of moves, a lot of different opportunities to get active.
Yeah.
So imagine at LSU or Ohio State.
It's something going down every hour of the day, probably in them schools. Yep. So
like I literally have a friend that goes to South Carolina, and before the games, he's posting, like he's not on the football team anymore. He's literally posting him at those little, what do they call them, the little ragers or whatever?
Yeah.
It's like 200 people just jumping around, no mask, nothing, going to the game. So COVID spreading, people getting lazy, and it is what it is. But I think they'll find a way to crown a champion because it'll be a wasted season. Like, why they put in all this effort to start the season if they're not going to try to finish somehow? Yeah. If it's with 3 teams, they're gonna crown a champion. I don't know.
Yeah, because you know how the NCAA is, though. That's they money hungry, so
yeah, come on now.
They never gonna do the right thing by trying to shut everything down or even putting in more protocols and rules and everything just to keep everybody under wraps. So that's the only reason why I think the season's gonna continue anyway, because they really just don't care. Like they want like obviously they're not getting top dollar as they could be because certain teams even still not letting fans, or they're not allowing full capacity, or some of these games are being postponed or canceled, all of that type of stuff. So they're not really getting as much money as they normally would be bringing in anyway. But money, any type of money that they're able to make or bring in, that's what they're going to do. So I don't think at this point they even really thinking about the safety and care of the students, or student athletes rather, even the people that's working for these teams. So I don't know. I think, like you said, they'll find a way to crown a champion, but it's just hard. It's crazy to keep like seeing you see a certain matchup. Even with my team, Florida, we got
right.
Yeah, like certain big games, big matchups, either got postponed or got moved or whatever. And it's just like, oh dang, I thought this team was supposed to play. I thought they were supposed to play. Nah. Like, I think at this point, I don't know if it's me just not paying attention, but I feel like be paying attention a lot. It's like sometimes I think some of them be slipping on the radar. Like, I don't even be seeing, like, they're like, nah, I guess like this team had a certain amount of cases. So,
got postponed or whatever. Players, what is it? Scholarship athletes or eligible players to be able to play. So.
Yeah. So, I don't
know. It's not looking good, but I feel like they're going to find a way. NCAA, they can't miss out. They already missed out on the NCAA tournament. They're like, we're not going to miss out. Yeah. College football playoffs.
Yeah, and I guess they're trying to prepare for that. They moved it to Indiana. I don't know how much that's going to help, but I mean, I guess they got one central location. So
yeah.
But I guess to answer your question, I guess to switch back, to the games that's going to be played, Indiana, Ohio State. I guess we can start with that one since that's probably one of the bigger. That's probably the biggest matchup that's going to be happening this week, because whoever wins. I mean, I guess if Ohio State loses, do you still see a way for them to make it in that top 4 in college football championship right now?
Games. If there's like 15 or 12 undefeated teams, no, but if more teams start to lose games, I could see them finding their way in. But I don't have them losing tomorrow. I feel like it would be a 3-point game because Indiana, I've watched them play. Sometimes they've been the only game on TV. They look pretty solid. They put up points their first forced turnovers. So that's a recipe for success. They have a nice little quarterback in Michael Phoenix Jr., and they got a nice receiving core. So I could see them giving Ohio State a little bit of trouble, but I just haven't seen Justin Fields have a bad game.
Yeah.
Every game it's like 25 for 28 for like 300. I haven't seen him have a bad game. So until I see that happen, I'm not going to not pick him.
Exactly,
so it'll be a close game, but I see Ohio State pulling it out.
Yeah, it's like every game he goes 20 passes in before he has an incompletion, if he has an incompletion.
And it's not like it's all dink and dunk. Like some accuracy does need some work, I will say that, but they're throwing the ball down the field. These aren't very high percentage throws, and he's completing them at a high rate. So I see them, winning again. This will be their toughest test, I think, because I don't think Michigan will be a test this year.
Yeah, at all.
Michigan, this will be a nice little early test, and we'll see how they handle the pressure.
Yeah, because we thought Penn State was going to be a nice early test, but they pretty much handled them. But this Indiana Ohio State game, I think is that's probably it's definitely going to be the biggest test of the year. If they beat them, then it's pretty much college football playoffs for them. Top either 1 or 2 seed or 1 or 2, ranked 1 or 2, whatever the case may be, and then they'll be primed for a matchup with probably one of the big boys in the SEC. Or, maybe Clemson, who knows? So I guess before what was the other big game?
Uh, Oklahoma State. They're ranked.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
14
yeah.
and 18. There's
Oklahoma
another.
State has had a really nice year because
You said
Oklahoma. I saw Oklahoma State's been having a really nice year, or more. I guess a little bit more surprising year. Oklahoma, I guess we thought, or I thought they was going to be. I knew they was still going to have some struggles because they had Rattler.
I mean, they started off shaky, but
Yeah,
they're coming on
they're
strong. In my opinion.
exactly. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, that's what they call that one. Is it the red? Is it the
That's
Red River
Texas.
rivalry?
I forgot
No,
what
that's
it's-
Yeah, it is Texas.
I
Yeah, but
forgot what it's called. I forgot the name, but they do have a rivalry.
yeah, but I don't know.
If
Who do
I
you
had
think
to
wins?
yeah, if I had to choose, I'm going with Oklahoma. I watched them more than actually. I've kind of watched them both a
It's
good
same,
bit
yeah.
because they played. I feel like Oklahoma State plays down the competition, but they'll get up for this game. But the way Oklahoma's trending, they've been playing well. Would they start off 1-2?
Yeah,
I don't think they lost since, and
yeah.
I think they'll pull this one out. It'll be a close one. It's a rivalry, so anything can happen. But Oklahoma's the better coach team. I think they have the better quarterback, even though he's a freshman.
Yeah.
And I just feel like they'll prevail somehow. I don't know. I don't have a definite reason why.
Yeah.
As long as they can slow down that running back, I forgot his name, Chuba Hubbard.
Hubbard,
They
yeah.
slow him down, they have a good shot at winning.
Yeah.
But if they don't, if he gashes them for 175, I could see it being a long day.
Exactly. Yep. I'm glad you brought that up because that's probably what's gonna be won and lost because Oklahoma is never known for their defense. They always let everybody kind of pretty much run through them, run over them. And Hubbard's, I guess a dual threat running back. He can, in the passing game or running wise, they gonna have to stop him. So I don't know. Like you said, I think ever since he got benched, Rattler, like you said, they've been trending up, and he's been playing really, really well. And I can definitely, I don't know who's home. I don't even know if that's going to play a factor, but I feel like both these teams, I think they let fans. I think they both have fans at their games, but Oklahoma, I can definitely see, like you said, they're definitely the better coach team. They got probably the better quarterback as well. But if their defense isn't able to stop nobody, they probably make it more of a game than what it should be. So, before I guess we get off, what's the other one?
It's not really a big game. It's Northwestern and Wisconsin. They're both ranked. That's why those are the three matchups for the day. That we can go through that really quick. I got Wisconsin. They were a little slow with the COVID case thing because I know the quarterback got COVID, so he was out for 3 weeks, and then they had to cancel the game. But they look good the first week they played, and then they smacked Michigan last week. So
everybody's smacking Michigan.
I see they're a good team. I haven't seen Northwestern play much. They're undefeated, but I like Wisconsin based off what I've seen in the 2 games I've watched. And their quarterback is very good for I think he's a redshirt freshman or redshirt sophomore, but he's pretty good.
But I haven't seen Northwestern play, I don't think either. But it will be, I guess, this week. You said everybody's game's pretty much postponed, so I'll be able to this week. I think Wisconsin, what are they? Big 12, right?
Big 10. No, they're all
Big 10. Big 10. Oh, okay, yeah, Big 10. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. They're more likely, like you said, probably gonna pull. Like you said, I know their quarterback is really, really good. And they play sound ball. So I don't know who's the top 4, or who do you see going to the college football playoffs? Like, who do you have in your 4?
Haven't really thought about that. I would say based off how this stuff goes. I'm not trying to be repetitive, but I feel like it's going to repeat itself. I know Bama and Clemson are going to be in there. I don't see them losing. Oh, I don't know. Let me stop because Clemson already had their one loss, but based off their resume in the past, that factors in a little bit to the decision. So I could see them making it in. But I'm gonna go Bama, Notre Dame, Clemson, and I don't know the 4th spot. And I only say Notre Dame because they already got that one big win, and the rest of their schedule's pretty cake.
Yeah, but they got to play.
I don't have to look more into it. Are they playing each other in the championship?
That's what they're gonna have to, because I know with ACC they don't do they don't have East and West or whatever the case may be. It's just whoever's the top 2, they play each other at the end.
They did do that. You're right. So that means the winner of that game, because even though Clemson has one loss, if they beat them and they have the same record as Notre Dame, they're gonna pick Clemson over them. So
for sure,
the winner of that game will have the spot. But
yeah,
I probably have to do more research on that. But I know Bama's in there for sure this year.
So we'll have more shows and time to talk about it when we get there. But I guess it's just early thoughts, early reaction. I don't know. It's like you said, it's probably going to be a repeat. It's probably going to be at least 3 of the same 4 teams from last year.
Ohio State,
yeah, I'm about to say if Ohio State wins this weekend, then I'm pretty sure they're stamped in. Depending on how I guess the championship game goes. If they lose close, or even if they win, obviously at the end, if they lose close, they still have a case to be in. You see what they did with or try to do with Alabama the other year. But
face card is a real thing, even in sports.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, oh yeah, it's like we can't leave you. We can't leave you out your Bama. We can't leave you out your Ohio State.
It don't even sound right.
Yeah, it's like how we gonna have a postseason without you? That's why I feel like they eventually gonna have to, or should at least think about expanding to 6 teams, or 8, whichever one they feel like is more viable. But obviously 8 would bring them in more money, but at least 6, because I think that's reasonable. But I think personally, I don't know. I'm still hoping my Gators somehow can get it together on defense. If they're not able to get it together on defense at all, then there's no way for them to, beat Alabama in that SEC championship.
I will say this though, I don't like the Gators. You know that. I'm not fond of them at all, but this is one of the best teams they had. Like when they played Florida and Georgia, I've said this before. I bet sometimes on sports. Like I bet with Florida confidently. Like I've never bet on Florida and Georgia. And this
probably was the easiest one. Like I probably should have did it. Like it was probably the easiest choice in my opinion.
It's explosive, bro. Y'all have the best tight end for sure in the draft. Mm-hmm. I'm not a hater, but I'm not that high on Trask. I think it's a little bit of the system. I don't see him fitting in well in the NFL, but
yeah,
he can prove me wrong. He's having a great season. I can't argue with the numbers, but y'all have some nice weapons, a good coach. Dan Mullen's a slept-on coach, and it's all coming together. Y'all just explosive. Like this is an every week thing. This is not just 1 week of him throwing 6 TDs. Like hasn't he thrown over 4 TDs in every game this year?
It was like I forgot how many. He broke some type of record. It was like 3 or 4 weeks straight. He had over 4 touchdown passes a game. So
Florida, they're dark horse. If you guys win out, which you guys should. Yeah, that Texas A&M loss is not a bad loss because they're a solid team, but y'all would have to win out and make something shake.
They'd have to win out and probably beat Alabama in the SEC championship.
But if you guys win out, you guys would definitely.
They got at least a shot. They're going to be looking at them to possibly put them.
You have good wins. Y'all would have good wins on your resume.
Yeah, so. Like George. Yeah, you say yep. Like overall, because it's just SEC as a whole. But I think they still got a chance. Like I said, it's just really the defense. If the defense can't get right, then it's going to be shaky for us, especially like I said, if we play Alabama or another explosive offensive team. But I don't know. Trask has been, like you said, really, really good. I don't know. Like you just said, it could be part of the system, Dan Mullen's system, because before he came in, what our weakness was offense. Like we was predicated on defense, and our offense was terrible, like just straight trash. Felipe Franks, it was trash. Forgot who was the quarterback before then. But trash. Like for so many years, it was going through trash offenses, and now it's transformed to where like now our offense is clicking, and we're able to put points up on the board. But now this year, for some reason, the defense is taking a little bit of a step back. But I think they'll get those issues fixed, moving forward eventually. Because I think it's just like we're young. I think at the corner position, we lost obviously C.J. Henderson. But I forgot who the other corner is. But the other one came back. I think it's just the other side. I forgot. And then our safeties, I think, are kind of young as well. And then the other week, whatever we played, our linebackers were suspended for fighting. So our backup linebackers are butt, like they're trash. So and they can't stop anybody. But our starters, when they're in, they're solid. So I don't know. I'm still holding out hope. The Mississippi State loss did kind of hurt a little bit. Or was it Texas A&M? I don't know. Yeah, Texas A&M. I said Mississippi State. My fault. The Texas A&M loss kind of hurt a little bit, but I think they have a chance to still make it. Like I said, just win out. It'll be interesting to see them play Alabama for sure. And anything I guess can possibly happen. But they're on a roll as well. But like I said, we'll definitely have another episode talk about this. When it gets closer to that time.
I think y'all be fine, bro. To be honest, like. If I was a Florida fan, I would wish this would have happened last year so y'all could have 2 years of like Trask and Pitts. Like they're all going to the league after this.
Yeah, more than likely. I know for sure Pitts is. Yeah. You think Trask might not stay one more year?
I think this was his last year anyway, but he needs to go while the iron's hot. Like he's moving up the draft. He's literally moving up the draft boards as we speak.
Yeah.
And I think this is his best bet. I wouldn't say he's a first-round guy, but I could see him sneaking in the second or third, and that's not bad. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, that is true. I don't know. I was thinking it was his third year. Maybe it's his last year. Probably his last year.
No, only because when he was starting, I went through his Instagram one day, and he literally had a pic. He graduated before he started, before he started last year. He graduated in the summer, so so he waited his turn.
Yeah,
too. Definitely.
yeah. I'm glad we. I think I already said this before. Said this story before, but I remember Felipe Franks got hurt. I was like, I wasn't thanking God because like it's never good to thank when somebody gets hurt. But I was like, once he got hurt, I already knew. I didn't even know who the backup was at that point because I think it was like one of the first few games of the season. It might have been first or second. But I was like, whoever is coming in after Felipe Franks, I know is going to probably be our quarterback, like to stay. Whenever Felipe gets injured, I'm not injured. Whenever he recovers from his injury or whatever, I was like, he probably lost his job off of that. And Kyle Trask came in and played up the par. But yeah, I didn't even know he graduated and everything. But yeah, more than likely I can see him dipping after this year for sure. But I was thinking maybe because like obviously the quarterback craze with top three being Fields, Lawrence, and Lance. Yeah. I was like, maybe he'll stay one more year because then like next year if he plays up to the same, potential, he can be somewhere, top 10, but probably dip after this year. He'll still probably make good money wherever he goes, but we just have to wait and see.
I can see that happening.
Yeah. But, all right. Like I said, I think pretty action-packed show. I think we pretty much hit on everything. Of course, NBA draft. We'll probably do another one. Sunday morning for the NFL games. Yeah, talk about college football games and then preview of the NFL games. And then maybe any NBA news that comes about because I'm pretty sure it'll be some between now and then. It's probably starting to move a little bit now. Some more signings and everything. But said hit on the NBA draft, hit on Thursday Night Football, talked a little bit about our verses, Gucci and Jeezy, even some college football snuck in at the end. So appreciate you again for hopping on, Thad. It was another nice, complete show. Let everybody know, I guess, where they could find you and I guess what to look forward to with us in our show.
You guys can find me on Instagram at @that_underrated. And in the following months, especially once I'm done with school, me and Jelani will be coming to you with more shows on the regular, looking for more content, just looking to get better at this every time we go live. So yeah, I appreciate y'all tuning in, and we look forward to getting back with y'all soon on Sunday. Most likely.
Yep, more than likely. So we'll definitely try to get a show in before on Sunday morning. I guess I call it like Saturday to Sunday or whatever. But yeah, definitely appreciate everybody for tuning in today. Like I said, we'll definitely be bringing you guys some more lives, more episodes, more content as a whole. Another action-packed show, and we'll see you guys again on Sunday morning. You already know where to find us in the show. Any recaps right now is live on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. You go there for more content, more past episodes. Follow us on What the Game Means to Me at the bottom, WTGM TM podcast, and then also Instagram, What the Game Means to Me podcast, and then Facebook is the same as well. So appreciate everybody for tuning in. Have a good one. Wear a mask. Don't be racist. If you listening and you're from Georgia, we got to vote again December 14th for Ossoff and
I forgot the
name. Yeah. Oh yeah. Ossoff and Arthur or whatever. So make sure just doing those two things, and we'll see you guys on Sunday. Have a good one.
Appreciate y'all.